I'm Dr. Greg Ellis, the non-complier to current dietary guidelines. The United States Department of Agriculture's new My Plate is taking the country by storm. There's articles in all big newspapers, little newspapers, everywhere about the importance of this to healthy eating for all Americans. And Michelle Obama's involved with her program, and the government, and nutritionists, doctors, and everybody's just jumping on the USDA bandwagon. Now, they admitted that the food pyramid that they've used for the last 20 years was a little too complex for people to understand. And they also admitted that we are in an obesity epidemic. Now, are they arguing that we have the obesity epidemic because people could not follow the guidelines of the food pyramid, that it was just too complicated, or people chose not to do it? I don't know what they're arguing, but they're certainly correct. There is an obesity epidemic, and that's related to increases in diabetes. And we know all the biochemistry of this in respect to food, but they don't. They don't apply any of it. They totally disregard it. We know that carbohydrates make people fat, and the emphasis on the My Plate is similar to what it was with the food pyramid, and that is carbohydrates. Now, the meat portion has been tied in with beans, and that becomes the protein portion for the quarter of the plate. So the plate is divided into 4 sections: one section for fruit, one section for vegetables, one section for grain, and then one section for meat and beans. Now, by definition, 3/4 of the plate represents foods that are high in carbohydrates. So it seems, and then if we consider the beans that you might be eating in the protein, this particular program could be recommending carbohydrate intakes as high as 85 to even 90% of your total daily calories. That's absolutely insane. The amount of glucose that you're going to flood your body with that's going to cause all kinds of problems, including glycation, atherosclerosis, completely against the basic biochemistry of the insulin theory of aging and the mitochondrial theory of aging and damage, which are all caused by glucose. So the influx of glucose is just tremendous. Now, as I've stated before, there are 7,000 published research papers on glycation. And I don't even have the slightest clue how these people have missed it. They don't even use the term. They don't talk about it. It's not used, and it's completely out of sync with what they're proposing. So they're proposing to harm you. They're proposing to hurt your health, not improve your health. They're going to make you more obese. They're going to make you more sick. They're going to create more degenerative diseases. And they think they're doing a good thing because they don't know they're doing any of those things. So that's the My Plate, and it's being praised by everyone, doctors and nutritionists, the government, none of whom are doing their homework. So all the more reason to drop these people and take your life in your own hands. This is sound information that I'm giving you. It's based on the best of science. Their stuff is not based on any science at all. It was all made up. And that's just the problem. That's the way it is out there. And there's nothing that can be done. There's nothing that can be done to stop this. They're not going to change until they die. I can tell you that right now. These people and their ideas are going to have to die out before there's going to be any changes. And I've stated there is a revolution going on right now. It's going to be interesting to see how that juxtaposes itself with these guidelines. The revolution is that we now are finding out, as we knew all along, but the evidence is coming out. It's proceeding very fast, very rapidly, but not becoming a part of use in anything, that carbohydrates are a major, major problem, and that carbohydrates will affect how saturated fat acts upon your body. It was never saturated fat. And we now know that it was never saturated fat. So yet everybody still believes that saturated fat is a major cause of disease. It's not, and it can be a problem, however, when it is in the presence of carbohydrates. So, but there's not much chance that you're going to get saturated fat when 3/4 of your plate are grains, fruits, and vegetables. So I guess if you follow the My Plate Act, then you don't have to worry about saturated fat or cholesterol. So they're still recommending you cut down on saturated fat, still recommending you cut back on cholesterol, still recommending you cut back on salt, even though there's absolutely no evidence that salt is a hazard to us. So the recommendations just continue. The whole idea of what's supposed to be good and bad for you is just all turned upside down. And we have all of this science, all of this research going on. It's all been published, and no one's looking at it. So we're being driven by an agenda for people to push their belief systems, which are simply wrong. Of course, they'll never tell you that. They don't know it themselves. So you've got to grab onto this sound information that you're getting from me, use it. I've got it on my site, I've got it in my books, particularly the glycation factor, which is a complete expose of all the nonsense that's going on out there. So grab your hat and try and figure out how you want to take care of your own health, because there ain't nobody else out there going to help you. Certainly no one in the establishment community. I'm Dr. Greg Ellis.